Okay, g'day. Welcome to Club Prairie Fire Season 9, Episode 2. We are the home of Tequila, all things Tabasco, and the Duckworth Lewis Stern system. This episode I am calling the Epic Summer of Cricket Preview. This is the place to look forward, to forecast, to make predictions, bold predictions from two of the game's greats and Ollie. Okay, so last night the Aussies had their cricket strides pulled down and their asses spanked by 8 wickets by Pakistan in just 26.5 overs. The only thing that left a deeper bruise on their behinds was the 9-wicket victory Pakistan handed them just 2 nights before. 2 wins giving the tourists a monumental away ODI Series win against the current world champions. Does this mean anything for Australia? Well, we'll try and answer that during the pod. Also, we will skim across England's 7-wicket victory in the Caribbean. And, of course, we won't ignore India's bilateral series against South Africa. The Saffers getting it done by 3 wickets with just 5 balls to spare today. This is all very, very important, and we will be covering it forensically on this, your favourite cricket pod. However, we will just glance backwards, but more than that, we will be taking a long, creepy stare into the crystal ball that is our upcoming summer. Well, that's my intentions. That's what I hope. But who knows with this podcast? It could be anything. Right. Time is not our friend, but 2 blokes that claim that they might be Michael Vaughan and Adam Gilchrist. Let's start with you, Vaughany, back in the Cooge.
Yeah, back.
In Coogee. How are you?
Yeah, nice to be back in the Cooge. I had a warm welcome. There was a nice parade down the front of just one man who noticed me. He was a Yorkie. He went, "What are you doing here?" Well, I don't know. I'm just there to work. So that was a nice welcome from him. Had a bit of sushi, walked up the street, just got my training sorted for the morning. It's not changed. Still a tremendous spot. The beach looks, it's a little bit overcast. You can see behind me the clouds are out and about. There's a bit of drizzle due this week. But that won't stop me doing the Coogee to Bondi walk every single morning. Fantastic scenery.
Have you been to Little Jack's yet? Do they still have that deal where if you yell out Club Prairie Fire, you get
they're doing that well, Little Jack's, that they don't open on a Monday. It's a hot property, and obviously they're selling plenty that on Mondays they can't be asked to open. So I'm sure throughout the summer when the holidays come, Little Jack's will be open all week, but they take a little bit of a breather on a Monday.
Now, Gilly, you obviously are diving headfirst into this summer of cricket. Currently still in Perth, but I believe you're making your way across to the East Coast this week.
Yes, yeah. G'day, guys. That's outstanding, Vaughany. What are you doing here? I love that. What a warm welcome from a Coogee localite. I'll be heading over. I'll be over east quite often throughout the summer. But had the ODI here last night. We got the first test here, of course, in about a week and a half or so. So get things underway from the west, but I will be over there at the back end of this week, hoping we can all be in the same room together at the same time. Gents, that would be nice.
It's you're both taller in person than I expect every time.
A lot of people say that to me when they meet me for the first time, and I've put a bit of thought to it, and I think it's because they only ever see me squatting down. I reckon that might be it.
Just lots of crouching. Do you? I mean, it's just when you're behind the stumps, right? You're not crouching day to day. You're not. Is that kind of?
Yeah. No. I waddle around the house in the crouch position. That was the way I taught myself. Reflexes, all that sort of stuff. So good.
Permanent crouch, and obviously, Vaughany, you're in the permanent batter's stance. I know that. Just hands ready, eyes ready. Yeah, is that right?
Well, yeah, always in Coogee. You've got to be in the ready position. You're never quite sure what's going to come at you, so you got to get in that nice stance, get a nice platform, good trigger movements.
Well, a gentleman that's how many beaches away are you, Ollie, from Vaughany right now?
3.5. Depends if you count the dog beach. Yeah.
Are you down the Bond, are you?
Yeah, I'm in the bond. Yeah. So we'll do another on those walks again. That was good last time. Enjoyed
Yeah, I'll
that.
be strolling along there. I'll get a little bit of action along those coastal lines tomorrow morning and just see what I can see if I can bump into you all.
Yeah, perfect. Love that. Well, actually, Vaughan, you've been given a job here. Actually, they've been in touch. CATO have been in touch. Stories
Back
are
on
going
again.
very. They have stories going very well. This obviously comes out on Tuesday. So last night we had Monty Panesar nearly retiring Gilly, which I'm sure will be going down very well. But Cricket Australia Travel Office, they need you because, as I said, the packages have already started pre-interest for the Ashes next year. England fans coming out, and they want you to basically curate the perfect little travel itinerary for any English fans coming. So.
Yeah.
Just a minute or two, they said, what are just absolute musts for all these fans coming over for the Ashes series? Because you've done on the field, but what about off it?
Yeah, well, I think it'll go something like this. I mean, it's a series that, as an England fan, you must want to come down under because clearly England will be favourites to get the Ashes back. So you get into Perth early. Gilly will give them a nice warm reception at his house. He'll give them a nice trip to his wine cellar. All the England fans will go down to Gilly's. And then obviously you get the ferry over to Rottnest to go and speak to the Quackers. Have a day at the Quacker farm, just having a stroll around on the bikes, then get the ferry back. Watch England go 1-0 up. And the second test is, where's the second test, Gil? Is that Adelaide?
Or Brisbane? Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, well, you get over to Adelaide. It's good. Get there early because there's some nice vineyards up in the hills. Go and get a bit of Penfold in your back pocket. And then you get down. What's the Italian? Parlamento, is it?
Parlamentos, yep.
Yeah, book yourself in Parlamento. You get all sorts thrown at the window there by the locals. That was very entertaining for us the other night. And then obviously England 2-0 up. You then get on the plane. You can miss Brisbane. It's a bit of a shithole, Brisbane, so you can miss that one. And then you get to Melbourne. And you can do whatever you wish in Melbourne. You go down the South Bank. You can obviously go down to Brighton Beach. You go to the SB, have a bit of fun in the SB, celebrating England obviously going to win the Ashes. And then you get over to Sydney for the new year. You book yourself down the Cooge, stay at any of the venue down the Cooge, and you just have a 5-day bender in Little Jack's celebrating England winning the Ashes series by at least 2 or 3 test matches. So there you go. There's your travel for next year on behalf of all the England fans. But thanks, Gilly, for offering to welcome them all into your house for the first night in Perth.
Pleasure.
That's fantastic. That's cricket.com.au/travel for that. And packages have the tickets, hotels, special events. Just so you know, obviously really well prepped. It's actually Gabba second. So that's the one you're skipping. Brisbane, Adelaide.
Yeah,
can I also say Brisbane is a good town? We do not endorse the views of Michael Vaughan on this podcast. There are a lot of nice areas around it. There's the Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast.
It's better than a shithole. It is.
That's straight out of the Kevin Peterson playbook, that one. He used to drive it. He had a real love-hate or hate-hate relationship with Brisbane. But actually, just quickly, Vaughany, that was beautifully presented, that little travel dossier there. I thought I will jump on the ferry with the England fans. I'm saying fan. I'm gathering only one's going to come out here because it's going to be that one-sided to Australia. But so I'll host that fan in the cellar. But I'll jump on that ferry over to. I would love to see the quokka farm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we farm quokkas.
All right. Okay.
I can't wait to get in there and see the what is it like the feeding time?
What do they?
Time?
Is it the milk? Do they milk the quokkas?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
The quokkas make beans because didn't they send Vaughan some quokka coffee about 6 months ago in season 5?
Ollie, well done. They generally hang around that food area on the island of Rottnest, don't they? The quokkas. They like a little bit of
down the village.
Yeah, down the village, they like to nick a bit of your food. So you got to be careful with the quokkas. Obviously, when you take a selfie, don't get too close. Don't touch them. That's obviously not allowed. And then there's a lovely hotel there now, Gil, isn't there, for a nice few sundowners?
Oh, yeah.
It's a bucket of prawns. They do the bucket of prawns there.
Yep. There's every level of accommodation. And you'd be best booking it through Cricket Australia Travel Office. You can book from a $10 a night tent.
I've stayed in one.
And that's not glamping. That's a tent.
No.
And then you can move into the glamping, and then there's different sort of chalets and little units, and then there's a 5-star hotel option as well. So it's all catered for at Rottnest.
Yeah, just on the camp, you just got to be careful of those brown snakes. There are a few there. Just be wary of the brown ones.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and just to cap off on the little tour you did do there, Adelaide. Now, be selective in your hotel. Make sure you use the expertise of the Cricket Australia Travel Office because they do know a good hotel. But the one where we were the other night in Adelaide, Vaughany, you did hear me relay the story that I took my son with me on the little road trip to Adelaide for the one day over there, just a couple of nights, boys on tour. Yeah. And young Ted and I were just sort of settling down for the night, about to go to sleep. And then there's a laneway next to the hotel. And I thought I heard a lady screaming, sort of a bit anguish. And I said to Ted, gee, there must be a bit of a fight or an argument or something going down the laneway. And another 10 seconds of the same noise. And Ted, as a 13-year-old, looks at me and goes, Dad, they're not fighting. They're getting on fire. Paper thin walls in the particular hotel that we were staying in. So it was a life lesson for the young fella on tour with Dad. But we eventually got some sleep, but it was tough conditions.
Well, that Gil, I mean, we were staying at the Playford, nice hotel in Adelaide, obviously for Cricket Australia travel. If you're going to book Adelaide, it was room 708. So if anyone's listening, that was in room 708 on Thursday night last week, was it, Gil?
And it was definitely.
It sounds like they might have lost a few calories.
So, and Gilly, it was just two people, or are we talking a full on?
Two people with great stamina. Otherwise, it was a lot of people with a little bit of stamina.
Gilly, let me ask you, obviously, Vaughany flagged there that you have tossed up that you will have the English fans in your house. How much money would it actually take for you to allow the Barmy Army to step foot on your land?
Come on, Gilly, let's get this going.
Absolutely.
Let's start this.
Let's host them at your house.
How many? What sort of? Okay, let's start to get creative with this. There might be something in this.
I mean, I've heard whispers that 15,000 England fans are coming out for that first test in Perth.
I thought that's how many you could fit in our.
I have been studying the American elections, and I did enjoy Donald Trump talking about the day that he went to work at McDonald's. And on a podcast with Joe Rogan, he said, I looked outside of McDonald's and there was 28,000 outside McDonald's. How he got there in the time to count 28,000, I'm not too sure. So if 28,000 can be outside McDonald's, surely we can get 15,000 in your house, Gil.
Well, maybe we can let me not rush this.
No, announce it now. Announce the date. Yeah. Announce what people should bring.
I think Brian Lara had 15,000 in Trinidad, didn't he? So a similar thing.
And he had Harry Berry there too. So.
Well, and we've always said, Gilly, you are the Aussie Brian Lara. We've always said that.
Yeah, no, left-handed batter's about where the resemblance stopped there. But I think we need to get our head into some sort of little promo opportunity, maybe an external sponsor, or I know that we're still in the current sponsored part of the show at the moment, so we don't want to conflict it. Cricket Australia.
They might do it. Let's ask them. We'll speak to them first. We'll offer it to them first. Right at first.
Okay. There might be a tequila brand going around that time.
Well, there's every chance there'll be a tequila brand that is not familiar with everybody at the moment. But yeah, the Barmy Army at Club Prairie Fire.
Yeah. So we have the bugler. Is it the guy? What's his name?
Trumpet guy.
Trumpet guy. You got the. I don't know if you can still say it. The Jimmy Savile guy. Can you still say that? Or
no, Jimmy.
You can't
stay clear.
All right, should we move on?
Yeah.
Like a good.
You'll let me dog out, scratching at the door.
Is that a euphemism? I think we're going to play Choose Your Own Adventure with this podcast. I'm going to give you guys places we can go, I'll wait for Gilly. Gilly's back.
Back.
Let's play a bit of choose your own adventure here. We've got places we can go, but ultimately I want to get into a bit of a summer preview, but more of a fun one. What you guys are looking forward to, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
How interested are you in discussing Pakistan's monumental win against Australia? Are you happy to go there quickly, gents? Obviously, they broke a 22-year drought out here. I mean, just very easily in the end. Do you want to go there?
Well, I think we should. When Australia lose, I think we should have quite a large segment in the podcast. I mean, it's the first time ever in the history of one-day cricket for Australia in a bilateral series of 3 games or more where an Australian batter has not scored a 50. First time ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that Pakistan quartet of pace, I mean, they bowled, 3 overs of their part-timers throughout the series, Gil?
Yeah, 3 overs of spin from Saim Ayub, a part-time.
Yeah, and that looked pretty good as well. But no, the Aussies weren't at the races. They were exposed against the pace. Whether it was because they weren't quite switched on to it, and these bilateral series, I think there's a real debate around whether we'll see them in a few years' time. That'll be a kind of quite a strong debating point, but full credit to Pakistan. They've had a great month. To beat England 2-1 in the Test Series, to arrive here, Dizzy Gillespie as the match day manager.
Yep.
Match day manager. And maybe Pakistan has stumbled onto something. You need 16 advisors, of which one must be an umpire that's still umpiring, I think, in the first class game as a selector.
And a weatherman.
And they've got a weatherman. And the coach that they've appointed, he quit in Gary Kirsten. Dizzy takes over just because he's in Australia and he can. And they've won a series for the first time here in 22 years. So maybe the chaos and a little bit of kamikaze of Pakistan cricket, maybe there's a little bit of something in it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, chaos ball for sure.
Chaos ball, yeah.
They need it. They thrive on it. They lift, and they played, as you say, an Aussie team that just weren't on. They weren't, and then monumental changes for the back for the last game, which brings with it some interesting questions around selection of international teams in this day and age. And don't want to pinpoint any one player, and no player is at fault for being selected at a higher level. It's a selection panel that make these decisions, and there's a lot to be balanced up about what's required for that game, but also casting an eye to the future, using it as an opportunity to try and unearth some talent. But it just feel like there's some selections as a general statement in this current sort of era that guys are getting picked without having done a great deal or laid a great foundation of a career to warrant being elevated to that level. And it's as a general statement. Again, players aren't at fault. They're not the ones picking the teams. But it does bring with it a little bit of uncertainty and doubt about what that sort of national colours means and how important it is. It is inevitable that the paying public will start to question these type of series or these games where, and again, I said it in commentary yesterday, using India as an example. And I'm not saying these players don't warrant being there or India are a weak side. No, they're not. They're a powerhouse and they'll have their ups and downs like anyone. But they've got a test squad that's just turned up in Australia. They've got an A squad that's already in Australia, and they've got a T20 squad playing in South Africa. So they've got upwards of 50 players representing India at the moment. That's a big group of players. Mm. Other nations inevitably going to start doing the same thing. And I think the punters out there, the people that are the stakeholders in the game that are most important, and that's the paying public, they're going to get a little bit, I reckon it's going to get on the nose a little bit if they're not careful with this.
Well, you're spot on. Why would you buy a ticket in advance? So next year, Australia will play India in some one-days and T20s before the Ashes. Why would you buy the ticket in advance? Because you've no idea what the team's going to be. So I reckon that'll be when the administrators will start to go, oh, wait a minute. And also, let's be honest, we work for Fox. Fox have bought the rights to these games. And then in the last game, you get to a game and half the team's missing. And you've paid exactly the same amount for that game as the other 2 games. So it'll only hurt the game and the administrators when they see that there's a little bit of cash going out the game.
Yep.
That's when it'll hurt.
Yeah. I thought Pat Cummins had a very good night.
At Coldplay.
He was at Coldplay. Yeah, I was hoping you guys would go, he didn't play. And then I'd go, he was at Coldplay.
Oh, was he there last night, was he?
Yeah, he was at Coldplay while the game was on.
Well, here you go. Like, imagine if, using that example, if Pat turned up to Coldplay having pre-purchased, well, who are we kidding? He wouldn't have bought a ticket. No, Pat's legend. But imagine Pat or anyone turning up to Coldplay and finding out that Chris Martin's off on, doing a gig over there. It's just the bass player and the drummer have turned up.
He's playing ODI for England. Yeah.
Yeah, spot on, Gil. That's a very good analogy, actually. You buy your ticket to watch a team play, or you go and watch a band, and you suddenly arrive to see that band play, and half the band's having a day off.
And let's be real, we're sounding like grumpy old men here. In our era, there were the occasions when players would get rested. A bowler, might not have made the trip over to Perth for a one day, or McGrath might have stayed out, or with just a batter might have had the odd rest. But there wasn't the wholesale changes and differences in teams. It is very challenging as a broadcaster to know who is in an international cricket team at the moment. I cannot imagine what it's like for the punter, the person at home, the follower of the game to try and follow who's playing for their nation on any given day.
Well, I mean, you say rocking up and Chris Martin's not playing. I think the analogy is rocking up and the entire band's not there, because the Australian cricket team didn't have Pat Cummins, Steve Smith, Marnus Labuschagne, Josh Hazlewood. The list goes on. Like almost would you say our best 5 or 6 ODI cricketers?
Well, there's eight missing from the World Cup final from a year before.
There you go.
But they're I guess beholden, and players aren't the ones at fault here. They're beholden to the schedule as to other selectors a little bit. So it's probably more an administrative thing, working out what's important. And it seems the value of representing a cricket playing nation as a general statement across the cricketing globe has been diminished for mine.
Totally agree.
Vaughany, as you've been opposing captain, and you're sort of our voice on Pakistan cricket relations on this show. Do you think it takes anything away from the win? Does it have an asterisk next to anything, or do you think they care at all, or is it? I mean, they can only play the team that's put out against them.
No, I mean it's not like the Ashes last time, which has got a big asterisk next to it because of obviously COVID times. And what did Stuart Broad say? It was null and void.
Yep.
You say it didn't count. Yeah. So I don't think.
What did he say? Put it in the bin with the robot.
That's right. Yeah, the robot's still there, so it's not gone in the bin. I mean Pakistan. I mean they're one day. I mean they are the Champions Trophy holders, but the last Champions Trophy was 2017, so we're talking a long time ago. And then they'll go to that Champions Trophy in their own backyard. So everyone will visit Pakistan. India obviously have announced that they won't be playing there. It looks like they're going to play in Dubai. So great for Pakistan. They needed it. And I do think that the world game needs a competitive Pakistan team. It's the one thing that I would love to see more than anything. I do think by India not going to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy, I think that relationship now could be an awful. I mean, it's not been great for a long time, but I think it's going to be at its worst. And potentially we might not see India play Pakistan for a long, long time. And it's the one thing that I'd love to see on a regular basis for Test match cricket is India versus Pakistan. If you can't play in your own backyards, host it here in Australia. We'll host it in the UK. There's so many supporters around the world that idolise India and Pakistan that series would be a huge success wherever you played it. So it's sad that India won't be able to go to Pakistan, and I do think it's going to affect the game.
Indeed.
Pakistan were brilliant in that
quality
3 games. They were excellent after a fragile batting display in the first one, all heart with ball in all 3 games and completely dominated.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good. Now, next choose your own adventure. We've got England 2-0 up against the West Indies.
Move on.
Okay, Gilly, very good. Let's move on to... no, did you want to touch on it, Vaughany?
Excellent. particularly in Barbados, where they're probably on a couple of bottles of rum every day. They're playing 2 rounds of golf. And to produce that kind of performance on the back of what they'll be doing off the field, it's a tremendous effort.
Well, on that, Vaughan, I don't know if you saw this headline, and Gilly as well, and I mentioned to Prof earlier, and we had a good laugh. We're speaking about Brian Lara's party. Phil Salt, did you see this? On Thursday night, he declines an invite to party with Rihanna because he says there's still work to do, and on the Saturday, he gets his third T20 International 100 in the West Indies, in the Caribbean. I mean, has he got his priorities right? And then he got a golden duck in the next T20.
Well, that's good to see that Phil's he's slightly different to the Bazballers, because I think the Bazballers would have gone to Rihanna's party.
Phil, well played, but he'll live to regret that.
He'll learn.
If I'm at a party and I'm telling the story, I scored a ton for England, or I'm telling the story, I went to Rihanna's party. What's the better story?
I would say Rihanna's party is better than scoring 100 for England in T20 cricket.
Definitely.
Is the answer, obviously this went down to Pakistan over there, and now they're doing well in the Caribbean. Is the answer the standard of golf courses? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, and I think that's why if England went to New Zealand last time, played a lot of golf down in Queenstown, should have won the series, but they kind of didn't enforce the follow-on. I think it was at Wellington. They did won that series 2-0, but they enforced the follow-on, and I think New Zealand just got the job done, so it was 1-1. So they played well in New Zealand, great golf courses. You look at Barbados, great golf courses. They play well there. Australia, what have you got? Great golf courses. Problems.
Watch out.
Yeah. Is that, I just don't remember what happened the last few times that Ashes were played in Australia? I mean, not the void ones. Gilly, do you remember? Has it gone?
I can only assume that they weren't as fully in golf mode at that stage.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And they're being all revamped. They're all being revamped. Royal Sydney, Underworks, New South Wales being redone.
They did top dress Joondalup up. I know that over here.
At that time.
Royal Melbourne. Is that right? Is that correct that New South Wales and the courses over here in Sydney are doing the courses because of England's arrival next year?
Absolutely. Since they've been Royal Melbourne, I know done some stuff on the greens. Like it's not a coincidence, is it? That's how powerful it is.
And for just backtracking a bit, back it up a fraction. There's a lovely little golf course on Rottnest Island that's I think is being redone.
Yeah.
So add that into the package.
Goodness me, bad signs. I'm nervous. Bad signs for the Aussies. Bad signs. Continue with the choose your own adventure. India have been taking on South Africa. That's tied 1-1. Is that a warm-up series for India before they come here, or no?
I didn't even know they were playing.
Terrific. Did you realise it, Gilly?
I did not, but I saw a headline about Sanju Samson.
Oh, he got 100
everywhere, and I thought, has the IPL started early or what? But that's that. Well, that won't be a warm up for the Test series because I don't think any of the guys in that squad are in the Test squad. I think the Indian Test squad, or certainly members of it, have touched down in Perth already. So they are fully focused on the Test series here, whilst their T20 brothers fly the flag.
And obviously that invite for the Barmy Army also applies for the Barrett Army.
They're strong, the Barrett Army.
To Gilly's property.
A good warm-up.
I think I need a bit more runway than 3 days.
You got 12 months, Gilly, to get it ready.
12 months, we'll run it, and then India are back the year after that. So if it's successful, and the Barmy Army don't disgrace themselves on the land that I live, we'll see how it goes.
That brings us to our epic summer of cricket preview. Is everybody happy to go there now? Is there anything else you want to touch on before we get there?
Well, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, obviously, the guy's been watching closely.
Sorry. Yes, of course. I've missed that.
That's 1-1 there in Sri Lanka, guys. Any takeaways from that epic series?
Ollie, are you still courting?
Sorry? Yes. Yeah, still courting. Yeah. Still dating.
Same girl?
Same girl. Yeah. She actually, genuinely, 2 weeks ago, got annoyed that hadn't had a mention or been brought up in the last few weeks. Yeah,
That's
the last few months. Yeah.
And
It's been a few months now, Ollie, isn't it?
Barry Manilow.
Yeah, had a good run out on the weekend. Actually, Barry Manilow, anytime someone comes to the house the first time, you get on the Polaroid wall. This weekend entered the nervous 90s. So about to raise the bat. Yeah, a big moment.
You've had 90 people at your house since you started Barry Manilow.
Yeah, the date was we got Barry mid-March, and six and a half months. 90. We had 2 more for dinner. 92 we raised. Yeah.
You're not running a separate business out of there, are you, Ollie? Or?
No. It's funny you say that because we did actually register it on Google because you can put it as a bar. But then someone messaged and said, "Oh, it says you're open 24 hours," and we had to shut that down quite quickly. That it's not a real bar because people can put in requests.
Yes. So for people listening, Barry Manilow is the bar in Ollie's house that he lives in, and it is not an actual bar. Right. Epic summer of cricket. Here we come. 5 test matches against India, starting, as you mentioned, Gilly, in Perth. I reckon we start with a bold prediction. We go Perth, Adelaide, Gabba, MCG, and SCG. Who wins, by how many, and which test do they win? Can you do that?
I like it.
No. Not really. It does not interest me.
All right, pick the score.
Yeah.
Australia.
As in, how many in the test series out of 5?
What you meant, like, I was going to 9 for 432 in the first innings.
That would be good.
Vaughany, what would the result be out of 5 tests?
I said 3-1 to Australia, and I think I'm going to stick to. I think it's going to be 3-1 or 4-0.
Gilly.
Washout in Sydney. So, I'll go 3-1.
Have you changed it all based on the result that New Zealand had in India, or has that not swayed you at all?
Well, I think Mohammed Shami not being here is a massive miss for India. Rohit and Virat, if they get into form, and I'm sure they can on these wickets, they like the bounce, they like to play off the back foot. Virat's got a tremendous record here, so it's a good place for him to come and find form. But I think they're going to have to score a lot of runs. I do. I just think this Australian attack is world class, and I think they'll bowl India out.
Okay. There you go. I mean, you've mentioned no Shami. We've just seen. I can see Prof in the rundown those squads. Australia done their first test.
Yeah.
Gilly, saw a few comments from you. The top of the order. We've obviously seen Nathan McSweeney named, but you touched, I think I saw on socials about Josh Inglis as well, good Englishman. What are you thinking? How Australia are going to line up there?
Yeah, Yorkshireman captaining Australia at the moment. I was glad that Inglis was included in the squad. I think that's acknowledgement that he's in the sort of top rung of players, batters in Australia. I'd be tempted to try and get him in there somehow, but I don't think they will. I think they'll go with Nathan McSweeney at the top. They've sort of said pretty much confirmed that already by ruling Inglis out of the opening position. I think he's got the game, the equipment there that can, and the tools to try and adapt to test opening role. I've got him down as my breakout star of the summer now. Having said yesterday that perhaps he shouldn't be opening, I'm going to go with him as the breakout star of the summer.
Keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
And the good thing is you can do that.
Do what you want.
People have proven you can just toss whatever up, and tomorrow people will forget it.
Yeah.
A bloke just won an election based on it. So, yes.
Yeah. Well, on that, Vaughany has been going viral for his top 3 Pakistani cricketers as head of Pakistani relations. Batters, sorry, of course. But there's been a bit of where's Yusuf Yohana, aka Mohammed Yusuf, comments I've seen being thrown about.
Gilly picked him as his number 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I did.
Okay, interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay, just checking you won't change your mind as well, Vaughany, 24 hours later from social media comments.
No, Baba's my man.
Yeah.
I'm not changing Baba.
Okay.
No, he's a modern great. I like Baba.
Oh, love that.
And he always gives me a hug every time I see him, Baba. He always gives me a hug.
Oh,
I like
delightful man.
Yeah, so I like Baba.
Yeah.
Now, Gilly's obviously given his breakout star of the summer.
Yeah.
We're going to toss a few questions at you boys now. Vaughany, who is your breakout star of the summer?
Jacob Bethel.
Yeah.
Very good.
Who's that?
So,
yeah, you've probably been watching England against the West Indies. He got naught in the first game and then 50 on that. The youngest English player to get a 50 in T20 internationally. Had all his family there. He's a good old Bayesian. His father, actually, Graham, was my captain at Sheffield Collegiate in the Yorkshire League in the late 80s, early 90s. Graham came over. He played a bit of Derbyshire twos, and then he was my skipper. And he had all his fan club in Barbados watching him. So he's in the test squad to New Zealand. And obviously, while our series over here against India is on, England will be playing New Zealand. So similar time. So I thought I'd go with Jacob Bethel.
Perfect. So those three tests, Christchurch, Wellington and Hamilton. Give me a score result for that, Vaughany.
Church.
2-1.
To England.
No idea.
I mean, New Zealand are red hot.
Yeah, it'd be 2-1.
What are you
one way or the other, 2-1.
Gilly?
Yeah, 2-1.
Okay, good. Thanks, guys. That was pretty definitive. Seriously. Ollie, would you like to pick a winner in that one for us?
No, 1-1, 1 rained out.
Right.
Mate, that's even worse. All right, let's keep going. What's the matchup you are most looking forward to this summer? Bowler versus batter.
Oh, I've got Cummins versus Kohli.
Very good.
World class. And I think Bumrah bowling to Travis Head. I think that's going to be a great contest because Travis will just try and moose it. And Bumrah will probably be captain for the first couple of games. Doesn't look like Rohit's going to arrive, but pound for pound, I think Bumrah's the best bowler in the world. So I'm looking forward to that kind of confrontation.
Yeah. Similar for you, Gilly?
Bumrah features, funnily enough, in my line versus Smith. I thought Steve Smith looked quite switched on in the couple of games that he played in those ODIs. He looked like he was ready to knock out a decent summer. So he'll be really happy to be back in his number 4 position. So that'll be a good matchup. And the other one, and this was quite entertaining last time they were out here, Rishabh Pant versus Nathan Lyon.
Yeah.
That's just the GOAT as far as off-spinning is concerned from an Australian point of view. Does he throw it up there? Does he try and draw him out of the crease? Does he go flat? You know, Rishabh can go through the gears as quickly as anyone from complete defence to all-out assault and attack on a bowler. So that'll be fascinating.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you think? I mean, he's such a lovely fellow. Do you think there'll be any chirping from behind the stumps from Alex Carey, or do you think it will just be good luck? Have a good inning.
Throwing the ball when someone's out the crease. Could it be that?
But Marnus.
Sorry, Ollie, what was that, mate?
Yeah.
What, affecting his stumping?
A run out. Yeah, potentially.
Run out.
Yeah, Marnus will be around the bat. You'll hear Marnus on the stump mic. He's always good for a few yarns. Rishabh behind the stumps, he'll give plenty.
I hope so.
Alex Carey does have young children, so he might need a babysitter. Like Tim Payne did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah. Watch this space.
But oh no, I'm not even going to go there. Well, that's for another whole podcast. We'll just nibble at it as Series 9 of Club Prairie Fire goes over the summer. Did you two blokes, not you, Vaughany, you were there, you said it. Did you hear Vaughany's theory on wicket-keepers yesterday? Tuned in. Clearly you were tuned in on Fox Cricket's coverage. Of course you were.
Well, I was with Pat.
Yes.
I was with Pat Cummins at Coldplay. Yeah.
But I always listen to the Spanish commentary. My wife, she insists.
The VPN. He fires up the VPN.
Yeah, I mean, and listen to the Spanish Michael Vaughan. What is Vaughany's theory on wicket keepers?
Just quick digress. Did you enjoy Coldplay, Ollie?
Oh, that was a lie. I just didn't see the coverage.
Right.
No. I actually got scammed. I was meant to go and got scammed a ticket in Basic Marketplace. Genuinely.
That's got yours.
What
Yeah, genuinely.
was it like cold lay or
warm play down at the smaller court? No.
Did you turn up and your scanner didn't work? And did you go out there?
I know, luckily not. I knew before. And then I've had a week, honestly. Then another one, I had to sell one because they weren't two together. I met this woman who brought her child to meet me because scammers wouldn't do anything. She then took a picture with me when I would selfie. Oh, quick one. And she went, just in case I need to out you on Facebook as a scammer. I was like, I don't think scammers give you their phone number and their address to hand over cash in person for it was a whole week, honestly. Yeah. But there you go.
Okay. The theory on wicket-keepers, there's enough teams around. Let's say, by way of example, Josh Inglis does get picked as a batter and they're playing and it's really hot. They're out in the field a long time. Is there a point in time where you say, right, Alex Carey, you've been keeping for 50 overs now. It's really hot. You might be getting a bit tired. Let's just get Josh Inglis in behind the stumps for a little while, or if they felt that he's a better keeper to spin, you get him on when the spinners are on, and then you let Kez, they're examples. So that's the theory from Vaughany.
I like it. What is the law against it?
No, there's no law, and Gilly didn't like it, but I just think it's common sense. So, for instance, say Gilly's batting at 7 and he gets 150 and he bats right through to the end. And he's a bit tired. All right, he only faced 60 balls, but he's a bit tired. Why would he go out and keep when you've got another keeper for the first 20 overs? Going, you keep, Josh. You're going to have a keep.
Is it
or one or two? There might be. Look, some teams have 3 keepers. New Zealand have got about 18 in the team.
Yeah,
and there'll be one that's better stood up than there is that someone stood back. Well, surely the spinner's on and the keeper that's the best stood up, he should be keeping.
Am I not right in saying if a bowler goes off, they then have to wait as long as they were off to bowl again? Would it not be the same for the keeper?
Not going off. He's still got to stay on in field.
Yeah, Gilly's a first slip or bat pad.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Just changing gloves.
Okay.
You wear those. So what you're saying is you wear the little pads underneath your pants. So literally just like Kez had just whip his gloves off, give them to Josh. And again, by way of example, he keeps the over of Nathan Lyon, and then Pat Cummins is on the other end. So they go, Carey's better standing back. So he whips the gloves back to him.
How is it?
Is that how?
Or I've got a better one. Or you just choose one end each.
Wow.
Gilly, you might go, I love keeping from the nursery end at Lord's. And say Carey says, but I love keeping from the pavilion end. All right, you do it then.
or would it be
How has this not happened? You are a visionary. You should have kept that to yourself.
I tell you why, because it's a load of shit.
It could be. It could be to batsmen. Yeah, I like it. It could be to batsmen, couldn't it? Like Gilly only does to left-handers because if they get a big stick, he's left-handed, diving one way with his predominant hand, right hand.
Ollie, you've got to think out of the box.
I like it.
Wicket-keeper back. Everyone keeps.
I like it.
There is one team that is dumb enough to try it, Vaughany. It's the team you used to captain.
Yeah.
So have a chat to them.
Yeah.
Bro, where do you think I got the idea? Because I was thinking, we have Jamie Smith, Johnny Bairstow, Jordan Cox, who's trying to get into the side. He's a keeper. Ollie Pope's kept in the past.
Brendan McCullum, he's lived in England for 5 years. He can come back.
We've got so many wicket-keeper back. And also, I do think, so Josh Inglis is a perfect example. If Josh Inglis was not a keeper, I think he's a better chance of playing next week for Australia because I think he's in the top 6 batters. But because he's the keeper, he's kind of being looked at as that position of Alex Carey's only wicket-keeper batter. And that's what I thought about. You just want to get your best players in the team, your best batters. And if you've got 4 of them which can keep, well, just mix it around a bit. Give them all a go with the gloves.
It's kind of one of those things that was staring right in everybody's face and nobody's picked up on it till now, Vaughany. And
Mm.
Well, it's
Genius.
like if you had like 5 batters at bowl, they all get a ball, don't they?
Mm.
At some stage, they get a ball. Why don't they give all the keepers a little go behind the sticks?
Yeah. Or if they're having a shocker, like in baseball, the pitcher, if
Get
he's
him
having
off.
a shocker, just get him off. Just hide him.
Yeah, right.
If you drop a couple, get out of the way.
Go to the bullpen.
Yeah, literally.
very good.
Only
Very
if you
good.
can have the walk on like the Wild thing in
Yeah.
in Major League.
Yeah.
You might have a keeper that's better at chirping a certain batter.
Yeah.
You swap them round.
That's starting to get my interest, that sort of stuff.
Right, so you'd give each keeper an assignment. You have to do some research on this batsman. When he's on, you're behind him.
Yeah.
You research him. You research. Mate, I think it's a brilliant idea. I know, Gilly, you're against it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're thinking back in the day, Phil Emery would have subbed in for you, or who was the other good keeper back then?
What really concerned me there, where I think Ollie, you said, if the keeper's having a shocker, you just hook them, get them out.
Get them off.
That was around in my day. Ooh, I wouldn't have stood a chance.
It's the same with a bowler. If a bowler bowls 3 shit overs, guess what happens? Off.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, very, very true.
I think we start it with our 2 teams, don't we? We tell the European Cricket League with Cluj and Hornchurch. Let's start it. That's the way to test it.
I did notice the Hornchurch are back in that competition in March because I think they're called Northern that may have won something back in the UK, and I know that they qualified, or it might be Brentwood or someone. I think it's Brentwood actually. Only way is Essex. I think they've won it, and they've reached the European competition. And I noticed that in their group were Hornchurch.
Oh,
big.
They're not beating Hornchurch.
nah.
We'll hopefully be there as well. Obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Next question for you, boys. Look, 2 amazing captains are about to captain these 2 sides in Australia that you guys are going to commentate. Pat Cummins and Rohit Sharma, when he's here eventually. If you guys were picking a side, you are now the main selector for your team, and you had to pick between Pat Cummins or Rohit Sharma to be your captain, who would you pick and why?
Oh, it's a tough one, that. 2 World Cup winning captains. I'm going Pat. And it's only just Rohit's a ledge. But the way that Pat plays the game, I don't think I've ever seen Pat Cummins have a bad game. I don't think he's ever bowled a bad ball. And when his team need a 30-odd not out under utmost pressure, guess who's not out at the end? Pat Cummins. So I'm going to say Pat Cummins.
Gilly?
I think the only time that I can remember, to your point, Vaughany, where there was question marks around Pat's captaincy or decision making was Old Trafford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Over there, where there was some commentary around whether he did this right or that wrong, and Pat came straight out and said, "Yeah, I had a bad day. Probably had a really bad day." And so, to your point, he knocked that on the head pretty quickly as well. He handled it beautifully. He handled it honestly and openly, and then it was sort of forgotten about pretty much straight away. He didn't push back against it and put the arms up in the air and say, "Why are people commenting like that?" So, look, I think Pat's leadership's been quite exceptional, to be honest. So, and I think his tactics of, obviously working with the leadership team within the Australian cricket setup. So, yeah, I'd just have Pat as captain of a team. I think Rohit's done a great job, won a World Cup, as you say, Vaughany, and he's a fine leader and a very good friend of the show. We cannot forget that. We must put a big underline there, and he's a very good mate of mine too. So, but Pat's just up by a nose.
Ollie, would you go Rohit or Pat?
Probably Joe Root, Ben Stokes. Out of those 2, yeah, I'll go Rohit Sharma because he's a friend of the show. He's been on. That's enough for me.
Yeah, good shout, Ollie.
Yeah, so Rohit Sharma's for me.
Say Joe Root, captain.
Yeah, just throw it out there. Well, he'd captain any side for me. Yeah. Fab.
What was that? Was that one win in 12 tests or something in one calendar year? Or?
COVID times. It was the asterisk.
Asterix.
They didn't count.
Yeah.
You know what his issue was? He had too many bloody wicket-keepers in his team.
Right.
And he wasn't
didn't
allowed to
utilise
rotate
it.
them. He wasn't allowed to
Yeah.
rotate them.
We're all very tired.
You're talking about Pat's never put a foot wrong. You wait till you see him behind the stumps. Goodness me.
I bet he gets leg side stumpings off Hazelwood.
Oh, he would. He would. He's standing right up. Oh. Gents, we're running out of time here. Oh, you've got a quiz lined up.
Yep.
The last thing I want to do, and this is just for you guys to sit for a moment and think about, what an amazing job you two have, right?
Yeah.
What is, when you look at the summer coming up, I mean, Vaughany, you're now living in the best country in the world, Australia, and you look at it and you think, what is the number one thing that I look forward to when I'm commentating the Aussie summer of cricket? It can be anything. It can be the snacks when you're commentating. It can be the beach you're visiting, whatever it is. What is that one main thing?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's quite a serious question for you, Pro.
Yeah.
I do like that. I do
Ollie
like
wrote
the sausage rolls that arrive mid-afternoon. They're always very nice.
The sausage rolls.
Yeah, I do like Kerry O'Keefe's pieces of paper with all his notes on.
Mm.
He has a lot of paper and he writes quite large, and he has all these notes. And sitting next to Kerry in the commentary booth is always a joy, because you know that I've seen a key word or two that's in the notes, and the words always look quite amusing to me. So I know there's going to be an amusing comment about to arrive.
Oh, that's a good one. Sit next to
I
Kerry.
think, anything to do with Skull, you always look forward to that. Just it's actually a tremendous pleasure and great fun to be part of the Fox team. I mean, to put the man in a slightly uncomfortable position, I'm sure he'll lap it up. To have a summer of Vaughany coming down and him being in our presence throughout a summer is always great joy. His expertise, his knowledge, his humour, the fact that he gets free paddle for us wherever we want to go, anywhere in Australia. He's so prolific on social media that they know he's coming. I had a mate of mine that just opened a paddle court here in Perth, and he didn't even tell me. He just said, "Gilly, let Vaughany know, free paddle whenever he wants to turn up here." So that's the Vaughan effect. And the other thing that is great humour is watching Junior Mark Waugh sweat it up at the Sydney Test match or Brisbane Test match before play, even in the suit, in the tie, and they're just beads of sweat. I mean, I'm a good sweater too. And Vaughany, we saw the value of the refrigerated cool room at the Gabba last year, where we would walk off from doing an hour pre-game and walk straight in and sit on slabs of beer in the cool room just to try and come get the body temperature back down. But Junior's hilarious. The way that girls pamper on him, he's got his little man bag that he carries around with God knows what's in there. But it's outstanding. Just good humour watching Junior go about his business.
Yeah, I must admit, I flew from Perth to Sydney with the Junior today, and he got off and he was waiting for his luggage, and he went, "For fuck's sake!" I said, "What's up?" He said, "My horse won yesterday. I didn't even know it was running." He said it was at $15. didn't even have a bet.
He didn't get on it. Oh no. Oh jeez. Hey, very good answers, lads. I'm pumped for the summer of cricket. Can't wait, and I can't wait for the many quizzes that Ollie is going to toss up for you guys and all the other cricket nerds out there. So over to you, Quizmaster. On you go.
Well, I'm excited. I really want to find out what's in Junior's man bag, because that will be a quiz, 5 items, and we'll find a way of finding that out. And hopefully on
Friday, get in there, boys.
Hopefully on Friday we get to do a quiz in person, a double show week. But this week it's all about India-Australia test matches. So between each other through the years. Okay, so question number 1. In test matches between the two sides, who has the highest ever individual test score?
Highest individual for me, the nation. I'd say VVS probably. But let me think.
How do you
go
know?
Australia. Matthew Hayden.
Australia Hayden from Vaughan.
Oh, hang on. So You're saying
Player.
the individual,
The individual.
or you got to name one from each.
No, just whoever you just overall. Just who
How do
between
you-
the two sides.
Ollie, how do you do nearest to the answer? Is it
It's just a yes or no, this one. There are some that are higher or lower and nearest. This is just seeing who
Gotcha.
remembers this score. I remembered
Got
it
you.
without looking. So there's a bit of pressure on you two.
I'm going to say Bob Cowper.
Wow. No, there's only one triple century, Michael Clark.
Oh,
The only
Of
triple century.
course.
Yeah.
Right at Sydney with no stickers on his bat.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
at Sydney, wasn't it?
Triple.
Only triple. Right, so 329. There you go.
Wow.
Number 2. Adam Gilchrist has a test strike rate of 76.9 against India. Is that higher or lower than Virender Sehwag's test strike rate against Australia? 76.
I think it's higher.
I'm saying lower.
Oh,
Virender Sehwag's is 75.2. It is higher. Gilly is second in all time. Do you want to hazard a guess who's top?
Ben Stokes. No.
If he was Ben Stokes of India. No.
Rohit?
Between Australia and India, you mean?
Yeah. It's all Australia, India.
Is it Rohit Sharma?
It is not. It is an Indian player.
Rishabh.
No.
Rishabh. Oh, really? Right.
Kapil Dev, 77.33.
Right.
There you go.
There you go.
Question number 3. Which bowler has the most wickets in test matches between the sides? Again, just a point for getting it right.
Glenn McGrath.
In test matches, most wickets. Harbhajan Singh.
Oh, good shout.
Nathan Lyon, 121.
Wow.
The
Far
GOAT.
out.
Yeah. There you go. Great quiz. Number 4. Sachin Tendulkar has many.
Hang on. Please, let's pay our respects to the leader of the free world and pronounce it the way that Donald Trump does, please.
Yeah.
Given he's just won his election, give it your best shot, Ollie. You must have seen that footage.
I don't know if I have.
How do you say it?
Suchin.
Sachin
yeah.
Tendulkar. I'm saying it.
Tendulkar.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Sachin Tendulkar has many records across tests between these sides, but true or false, one of those is he has the most test match sixes between the sides of any player who's played in this fixture.
God.
True or false?
True or false?
I scored 1,000. True.
False.
It is true. Vaughany takes another. He has 25 sixes, one more than Matthew Hayden. There you go.
Wow.
Okay. MS Dhoni, question number 5, played in one more test match between the two sides, but featured in one less innings than Adam Gilchrist. Does MS Dhoni have more or less dismissals than Gilly?
As in dismissals with the bat or behind the stumps?
Behind the stumps.
Behind the stumps. Well, you both did all the keeping, so you were greedy.
Should have shared it around.
Yeah, should have shared it around. Dhoni up to the stumps. Harbhajan, Vaughany would have got a few. I'm going to go Dhoni, actually.
Dhoni, you think has more?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Gilly?
Yeah, I think Dhoni would have got more, yeah.
MS Dhoni, actually, Adam Gilchrist, 75. MS Dhoni, 71.
Whoa, well done, Gilly.
Oh, Gilly. Gotta back yourself.
And I think I was right in saying Gilly just 2 stumpings to 15 for Dhoni. I think was that way around, I believe. So it was a lot of catches.
Only 2 stumpings against India.
I will pull that back up if I find that. But Is it ready?
Hazard a guesses, I reckon. Let me think. I reckon I got around about 30 odd stumpings, 35 or 7 in my career. So 2 against India. That's probably why they're known as good players of spin.
Or you missed a lot.
Oh, I missed it. Yeah, probably more to the point.
If we go that, Adam Gilchrist 75, 2 stumpings. MS Dhoni 15 of his 71. And 36 innings in 18 Test matches. Gilly 19 Test matches for MS Dhoni, 35 innings. So very similar. But yeah, there you go. But overall, that's a win.
Well done, Vaughany. Good win.
On a bit of a roll, Ollie, I know.
You are.
You are.
I reckon that dates back to about season 5.
It's been
a couple of weeks back, season 5. Hey, Gilly, quick one. Was the most satisfaction, did you get the most satisfaction from a stumping in terms of your dismissals, or was it a leaping catch? Was it
I got knocked over for 81 on debut with the bat, and everyone says that must have been heartbreaking, get so close to 100 in your Test debut. I scored my 100 on my Test debut, and that was a leg side stumping off the great Vaughan. So that's good enough for me. The best feeling ever. Little leg side stumping. It's feel it nestle into the gloves, whip them off, and away you go. Ended up the next morning on a drip in hospital. That's how much I celebrated that 100 on debut. So,
that's amazing. Right, leg side stumping to Vaughan. That makes sense. Very good. Vaughany, for you, your dismissal, was it bowling people or taking catches or?
Well, let's just go through my 6. I did. I like taking the outside edge of Wasim Jaffa.
Ooh.
That was my first Test wicket. Up the slope at Lords, Doosra. Bowled in the Doosra. It was the Doosra that I didn't even know I could bowl.
Accidental Doosra. They're the best.
Makes
that's
it hard
for
the batsman.
When you're bowling a Doosra, don't know.
Yeah.
Just that one, the Doosra. Bowling the Doosra to Wasim at Lords. That's why we have such a good relationship now.
That was your pick of your dismissals.
Yeah, I mean, bowling Sachin through the gate. There's been a lot of off spinners do that. So,
How many wickets?
Not many get the Doosra going up the slope at Lords.
Who are the other 4?
I think I got a Agarka twice. I think I got him twice. One through the gate. Again, you don't celebrate those too much.
Yeah.
I think another one was, I think he was trying to whack me out of Lords, or maybe at the Oval. Yeah, tried to hit me over the pavilion. I went straight in the air. That's 4. I might have got Sean Pollock out, actually.
Now, I can see Ollie is squirreling away. As he does, I'm going to say our goodbyes. Do you want to pull up your toast, Gilly, and then we'll finish with Ollie telling us Vaughany's 6 dismissals. Here we go.
Any suggestions for the toast, guys? Any recommendations?
Yeah, I think we should put toast Pakistan cricket girl.
Yeah, that's a great
what a few weeks they've had. The carnage, the chaos. What did you call it? Chaos ball.
Chaos ball.
Yeah.
That's a great call. That is a great call. I'm just going to give the Tabasco a little shake there. 3 drops in, 2, 3. And, great call, Vaughany. Cheers to that. To Chaos Ball, to Dizzy, to Mohammed Rizwan, the new captain, and Harris Ralph in particular. Well done. Cheers.
Yeah. I like your little cup, Gil.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've got that in Mexico.
Yeah.
Ollie, have we padded enough time for you to find Vaughany's other 2 dismissals?
We've got Ajit Agarka bowled. We've got Ajit Agarka LBW Doosra up the hill. It says in brackets. We then have Wasim Jaffa caught. We then have Sachin Tendulkar bowled. We have Sean Pollock corn behind.
Ooh.
Doosra.
And then we have
Doosra.
I should also state there was 100 to 200 drop catches off Vaughany's bowling here. And Herschel Gibbs. It was caught and bowled. They dropped, but it was 200 drops from Vaughany, and it was caught as well. Herschel Gibbs for the 6th.
Yeah. Another Doosra.
Where'd you get Hershey?
I would think he was on a few, was he?
Hasn't actually shown that. We can find out at some point. I think he had a ton. Yeah,
right.
looking at this quickly. Yeah,
Yeah, he might have. He might have been on. Might have been on a double.
All right, very good. You can find us at Club Prairie Fire everywhere: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. We are back on Friday, gents, in person, live and in person.
I reckon I can just see you, Vaughany, when you got Hershey out for the double. You're running around with your little pocket, going in your pocket, in the pocket, Hershey.
Having a go.
All right, boys. Good job. See you Friday.
Cheers, crew.
Well, thanks for watching. But if you liked it, give us a like or hit the button below to subscribe. That'd be great.